These are the ingredients we want to use. We would like to do a request, the backend is this guy. This is the library we are going to use. Import request. And then what I'm going to do, requests get, and this will give me a response. So response equal request get. Where I'm going to do this request, it's my backend, this one. So let me put this stuff here. Let's start to explore. Python lab. Okay, I get the 200 code. So if response status code equal 200, then what we do? I don't know, maybe we can print response text. Okay, this will give us the text result. Okay, so this stuff, okay? And now we can check, for example, where is the folding gadget? Folding gadget, okay? So maybe we want to extract this section, the section with the class container list tiles, and we want to extract one div for every product. You import the submodel, then you use the from string method, import LXML HTML. What I do with this, LXML HTML from string. What's the string? Response text. What will be the result? The node, okay? Like an XML node. HTML node equal this guy. And then from this you can extract elements. How? With XPath. Okay, so you can use XPath, provide an XPath statement or query, and you extract the elements you want. Let's try. So if I do HTML node.xpath, and here I provide an XPath that reach these points. Where is the guy? So I want to reach the section element from everywhere. I want the section element having the attribute class equal to container list tiles. This will give me this section. Then I want to do another step, and I want to take what? The div element, for example. Okay? If you want, you can move more inside. Okay? If you just want this H3, just move inside and take that one. Okay? What will be this? Maybe the products. Okay, and then we can try for product in product. Let's try to print them, okay? So product dot text, and this should print this stuff. Okay. By the way, in Unix you can use also this stuff, guys. Okay, I notify wait to monitor for save of the files. Okay, so you can do a loop like this. Notify me when you close the writing on a file. The file is lab SQL1 blah blah blah. So every time I save this file, I want to execute clear to clear the terminal. Then I want to run lab SQL1. Okay. So now every time I save here, this is run. Okay. These are the product, all visible products. Okay. Then we know that we should inject our special content, right? So at some point we said if we filter by category, what will be the end point? Let's filter by this. they will add filter, category, equal, and something. And there is the SQL injection, right? So we say, let's put this payload, quote, or 1 equal 1, and then comment out the rest. And now you see that we get more elements, okay? Now, if you want to make this a bit more generic, maybe you can save this string and say this is the server, and maybe you want to have the endpoint. What is the endpoint? And then maybe you have the payload that we are trying, okay? So that if we have to try several things that we are not sure, we just change this variable. What was the payload? Quote or 1 equal 1 dash dash to comment out the rest, okay? Now instead of doing this string, maybe we can do what? Format string in Python, use the server variable, add the payload, the endpoint, and add the payload, for example. Works again, okay? Now let's try to move this code in a function. And then what? We want to build the result. Return product text for product in products. Should be just this. And otherwise we return the empty list, or we raise an exception, whatever you want. To find all products, fetch products without a payload. And we want really all products, okay? So also the hidden one. Fetch products with the payload. Okay? Actually we have to do something extra here, okay? So this is the endpoint if we have a payload. If we don't have the payload, what we use? Just the server. Okay? Was the main route. So let's print, for example, the length of all products and the len of really all products. 12 with respect to 20. So there are 8 hidden products. Can we extract these 8 hidden products? Hidden products. Who are this guy? So let me take the product for product in really all products. If the product is not in all products. Print. Let's join this. Hidden products. Okay, so these are the 8 hidden products. From reach console import console. Then you have to instantiate one. Console equal console. And then instead of doing print, you do console print. But you can do much more with console status, fetching all products, ordinary path. So this will create a spinner with console status fetching really all products, unexpected path, with console status computing difference. Obviously this will be really quick. Other stuff you may want to do: console log fetched len all products. And this will add us a print like this: console log fetched len really all products. And then maybe add another things here: console log found len of hidden products. What other can we do? From reach table import table. And now instead of printing just in the console, you can have table equal table, then maybe you want to have a title like hidden products. Then the table is made of columns and rows, specify the columns, add column, and let's say it's the product name, and then for product in hidden products, table add row, and what you put here. Now since you have only one column, you have to provide only one string, which is the product in this case. Console print the table. Okay, do the magic. Suppose that we want to extract more information. In every div there is an image of the product, the title we already take, the name of the product, let's say. Then there is for example the rating. Now if you have to do this stuff, it means that the product starts to be a complex concept. Okay, now if you don't have time, but still you don't want to use generic types, in Python you can use this guy, from collections import named tuple. Okay, so what is a named tuple? It's an easy way to declare a type. Product, I want to be a named tuple whose name is product and whose attributes are name and rating. Okay, and now when I instantiate a product, every product will be a tuple of two elements. The first one is the name and the second one is the rating. Now where we are going to populate this guy, maybe here. Okay, so now the products, maybe we don't want to select up to h3, we stop at the div, and then from the div we take the h3 and this image. So for product in products, what we are going to do, we need the product name, product dot, I don't know, we can also start an XPath query from this, select the h3 element. Actually we just need to access the first one and take the text value. And then we need the rating. What is the rating? So still from the product, we do an XPath query, we select the image element, and actually not the first but the second. From the image we take the second image, and then we move in the attributes axis and take the source. Okay, and anyhow this will return a set, so you have to take the first element. Res equal empty, then at the end we return this result. Nothing to do here, nothing to do here, and here we have to do res append a product whose name is this and whose rating is that. Here we need another column, table add column, rating. Here I'm going to do product name, product rating. Suppose that I don't want this, I want just a number. Say that this is an integer, you can multiply a string by that number, and if you want, obviously, and if you have a proper terminal, you can even use emoji. Second one is essentially a login form where you have to try to bypass the authentication mechanism. Open ZAP, open Firefox. This is already linked to the OWASP ZAP. Then let me take the URL associated with my account, and then remember that OWASP ZAP will take the history of all the requests that have been done. This lab contains an SQL injection vulnerability in the login functionality. To solve the lab, perform an SQL injection attack that logs in to the application as the administrator. So we should check for this, I guess, my account. Here there is the login form. So let's try to do administrator foo login. Invalid username or password. Okay, that's good. The error message is good, to be honest. So let's move to the history. You see that there is the endpoint login, and if you right click, open resend with request editor, you can manipulate the parameters here. Okay, and now the injection, we know that there is an injection. It's very likely to be either here or here. Okay, so let's try to put quote and comment out the rest. And then maybe you see that we solved the lab. Let me show you the fuzzer, guys, okay? So we want to determine the number of columns by injecting nulls. This is the lab. Okay, and I will go directly to the browser with the ZAP proxy. Good. Let me take back the text. And let's link the pieces, okay? So there is SQL injection in the product category filter. So let's see where is this filter. Yeah, it's this one, okay? As before. So if I click here, the category filter is passed via the URL. The results from the query are returned in the application's response. So you can use a union attack to retrieve data from other tables. The first step of such an attack is to determine the number of columns that are being returned by the query. Determine the number of columns returned by the query by performing an SQL injection union attack that returns an additional row containing null values. I will do again the request. It's here, okay? Right click. Now we can do two things. We can do open resend with request editor and then try to manipulate from here, okay? So how it was the union attack. So we try to close the query here. We close the string here. At some point we are going to comment out what is after. And before than this we are going to do union, select, null, stop. Okay? Just to understand if it's one element. We try to send this query. Internal server error. Okay, so it's not the number. Let me do again. So after this null, I'm going to put another comma and another null. Let me send. Internal server error. Let's try again. Comma, null. Let's send. This worked. Okay, this worked, and I guess we got the congratulations, you solved the lab. Now suppose that this number is really huge and you don't want to do these manual steps. How can you work? In this other way. So let's do a standard query. Let's take the request we just sent, which is this one. We can do right click, open, resend with request editor. Set up somehow the union attack, union, select, null, comment out the rest. Then maybe you may want to send this request, and then from this point you want to apply the fuzzer. Okay, so I'm going to replace this portion, right click, fuzz. This will already set up a fuzz location. Otherwise you can select another one and click add. What you do with the fuzz location? You have to specify the strings you want to substitute with this location. How? It's the payload. Payload, you can add, and then you have multiple options here. You can provide a number in a range, for example with these numbereds. You can provide a regex, or you can provide strings. Okay, now let's try the strings, that it's really simple. Okay, so suppose that I want to replace this white space with comma null, or with comma null, Okay, and you do with many. Click add, click OK. Now this position green will be replaced with comma null, comma null, comma null, comma null, comma null, comma null, and so on. All these requests will be done for us. And then you see that there are many internal server error, but one is different. Which one is this? It's the one that uses null null, which means we have 3 columns. So let me do another fuzzer. Fuzz. Let me add a payload. Add. I will not use the strings, I'm going to use regex. What kind of regex can I use? Comma null, and then maybe I want to repeat this 10 times. Okay, and this will generate what we need. Add, okay, start the fuzzer, and the result is here.